You are listening to an exclusive on PodHub Network. Your city, your podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Back to the Burgh, presented by the PodHub Network. My guest today is a Blackhawk, PA native who excelled in baseball. After high school, he found himself at Slippery Rock University, where he was named a 2019 All-American and became the school's third leading home run hitter. Now he is playing professionally for the Washington Wild Things. Please welcome my guest, Joe Campagna. How you doing, Joe? How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm glad we could get this interview in.
Definitely.
So, first, let's talk about your upbringing. We grew up, I guess you could say we grew up together. We played against each other every summer.
Yeah.
We didn't even know it. So growing up in Blackhawk, what all was there to do? What did you guys like to do? Where'd you hang out?
What did we do in Blackhawk? We came over to Beaver. I don't know what you're talking about. We came.
Hey, I wasn't that cool. I wasn't cool enough to go to the parties and hang out with all the other kids.
Listen, I stayed away from that too. Trust me. Don't worry about that stuff. I'm not naming names. I just didn't really. I didn't really go around any people like that. But no. I mean, we. What's that place? Yama. We came and ate at Yama all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was across the bridge, but we went there to Hanks. I mean, honestly, there's not much here. There's the Blackhawk Golf Course, which I'm taking full benefits of that right now, coming back
Absolutely.
from
Hell yeah.
But, man, honestly, we went everywhere else. I mean, great area. Love the area. But other than playing baseball, playing sports, just going down to the biz courts, the Blackhawk Intermediate School courts, I mean, we really didn't do much here. We went everywhere else, Pittsburgh and everything. But
yeah, I feel that. I feel like that's just kind of like a Beaver County thing, is to
man.
You're going all over the place. You're not just sticking at home.
That's definitely it. I mean, you know what? I think a lot of people end up getting tired of their home, and then they go away for a little bit, and they're like, you know what? Beaver County is where the heart is.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd like to go out, maybe down in Florida or something else in the future, to maybe live and stay. But I'll tell you what, Beaver County, Beaver Falls, Blackhawk area, it's where the heart is. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So growing up, other than baseball, did you play any other sports?
I played football and basketball up until high school, and then I had an arm injury my freshman year in high school, and all the way up through, they advised me to stay away from basketball and football and everything else I wanted to do other than baseball, because they were like, look, your future's in baseball. What are you even doing? And I'm like, I just want to have fun. I was in high school. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was looking at it like I want to go hit somebody on the football field,
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to go hit a three-pointer and then look in the, student section and, But, I mean, I wish I could have went back and, played. Didn't end up doing it though. But no, I mean, I've always been a fan of all the different sports. Oh yeah, I played hockey for a year too.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I wish I could still do them all.
Yeah. So with that being said, you said you had an arm injury, and it forced you to focus on baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Was it partially your choice at the time to focus on baseball? Did you see a future in that?
Yeah, I think, ever since I was little, I mean, I knew baseball was my best sport. And I mean, yeah, I guess it was, partially my decision. I turned to my parents a lot for help. My dad's helped me ever since I was, really little.
Yeah.
Trying to decide what was best, for my career, even back then, and he influenced me. Now, he didn't make the decisions for me, he gave it to me. He was like, look, I think this is what you should do. If you don't want to do it, I can't force you, but we're Italian. So he's like, I think you should do this. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're right. So yeah, I mean, I knew it was probably the right decision. Just to kind of focus on baseball and, stay away from the other things.
But hey, we all have regrets, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know.
I can just see it.
It's
I
like,
can
but
just
it's
see it in
like
your
I
face.
wish I could have, you know.
I can see your face. You wish you would have played football. Hey, I played football. I could have, maybe not, could have gone to the league. I probably could have went and played like arena football, but I definitely wasn't that good. But looking back, I wish I would have played all through college. So.
Oh yeah, it's a fun sport, man.
Yeah, man, football's
a fun
awesome.
sport.
You legally get to beat the shit out of somebody.
100%. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing better, man. There's nothing better than that. Somebody tells you, "Hey, go take his head off." You're like, "What? I get to do that?" All right. That sounded bad, but you know what I mean. Sport wise.
Yeah. So
sounded bad.
So we're gonna keep it with the hometown for now. What's your favorite like bar to go out to? Like, where do you like to go party nowadays? Now that you're of age, obviously.
Yeah.
We talked about growing up. Now, big boy stuff. Where are you hanging out?
I gotta be honest. I don't drink that much, but I'll go out with everybody. Now, lately, I had a couple roommates up in my team in New Jersey this year who they went out every night. So they got me into a habit of drinking a little bit, not a lot, but I'll be like, I'll have a beer, but I don't know. Around here, Zookie's, right down there, right there in Brady's Run.
Gotta love it.
Zookie's is good. I have never been to Kelly's, but I want to go to Kelly's. Everybody talks about Kelly's.
Kelly's in the summertime is always nice.
Yeah, is that good? I mean, is it fun?
I mean, I think it's like Mondays they do a crab bucket. It might be unlimited. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But Mondays they do crab bucket in like that back patio area.
Yeah.
Like you're on a beach, man. It's awesome. You got to go.
Yeah, man. I drive by there all the time because I get Brewster's and Hank's and stuff. So I'm a big ice cream guy, sweet tooth. But
okay, wait. Brewster's or Hank's? You can only pick one.
Ooh. You got to go with Hank's because they got the Mexican food too.
I mean, I guess.
Come on, man.
Hey,
I get those Oreo and cookie dough. What are those, like flurries or something like that?
Oh yeah. That's like the only thing from Hank's that I think tops anything at Brewster's.
Oh my gosh, and you get so much. That cup is like this big.
It's huge. Every time I go, that's what I get. But no, I'm partial to Brewster's because like I'm from Beaver. I lived in Bridgewater.
Yeah,
I could just walk down there and get a cone whenever I wanted.
Oh,
that's why I'm partial.
Yeah, and you know what? Their black raspberry is really good though. Their black raspberry really hits a spot. Yeah. Man, I don't know. I'm a bit look. If it's chocolate or it's got sugar in it, I'm kind of like, go this way. Maybe I'll try. but no, I mean, I gotta go. Thanks.
Yeah. So you mentioned playing in Jersey. We'll talk to actually playing in Jersey, but I want to know. You said you went out. I live in Jersey. I'm wondering where did you guys go out to? Did you go to like Hoboken? Where?
Okay, so I played in Sussex County.
Okay. So
we actually there's a bar, and legend has it that Babe Ruth always went to the bar. It was called Jip's Tavern, I think it was Jip's Tavern. Really nice. There was like a little small little lake like behind it, and it was like it looks like a hole in the wall, just like oh, that place, and it is that place. Like, the food, I mean, I really didn't get anything with that, but I mean, just the feel of the bar and the area was just it was like throwback, and it was really fun. We went there a couple nights. We made the drive to Fandle up there and right there by MetLife. Yeah. So we went there. That's the racetrack too, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we made that drive and hung out there a little bit. I mean, we tried to stay away from people as much as we could because, I mean, we had to.
Yeah.
But like on the days where we knew we had a couple more days off, like we'd go like maybe on a Sunday night or like a Monday morning. So like we had like a couple days where, we could actually tell if like we actually ended up getting something. So whenever Thursday came around, whenever we would play again, if we were feeling sick, we'd be like, but thank God none of us did. We're all 100% healthy, but yeah, man, I mean, that was Gyps and Fandle. Those places hit the spot.
Yeah, no, I love Fandle. I went there a lot last football season.
Mhm.
It was so much fun. But let's get back to your hometown, Blackhawk, playing high school baseball there. Did you have any interaction or close relation with Brendan McKay?
Yeah, Brendan's my boy. Me and Brendan are really close.
Oh, that's good.
He's down there right now. He's living in Tampa now.
Yeah.
He bought a house, him and his girl, and they're doing well. So, rewind back to January, I went down and I had a workout down there with a few scouts, and I ended up just calling Brendan up and saying, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, you want to work out for a few days before this workout I have? And he's like, yeah, whatever. So he told me he was going to take me to Tropicana. Still hasn't happened, but
wow.
I know what a guy.
Be your
right?
own boys, man. Your own boys, just not.
I know, but no, I was texting him yesterday, and he's doing good. I mean, he's bored as all get out right now because he got that injury, and he's trying to take care of it, and he can't do anything. He's in a sling for a long time, and it's like, I know he's just itching to get back out there. That's how he is. He's baseball or Netflix. Like that's it. I know he's bored.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a big fan of his. I started collecting his baseball cards, actually.
Okay,
I started collecting a lot of guys from our area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. But
right.
Yeah, like,
no,
what was it like? Yeah, what was it like growing up with him? Because I mean, he kind of made a splash when he came into the MLB.
Yeah.
So what was it like? What was he like before the MLB? Is basically what I'm asking.
The cool thing about Brendan is the same guy that Brendan was in high school.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. The guy doesn't say a word to anybody he really isn't like close with. And that's not him being like antisocial. It's just him. He's just quiet.
Yeah.
And even when I'm around him, sometimes he's just like, he don't say a word. But I mean, he's the same guy. He's a nice kid. He's very humble. You will never hear him say something like, wow, that guy's an idiot. Like, it just doesn't, like, it doesn't compute in his head that he's even like as good as he actually is. He knows it. He's confident, but like, he's just like, there's no, I don't know, ego there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's, growing up with him was cool. I mean, honestly, I really didn't get to know him until I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I told you I was hurt freshman year, so I really didn't get to play with varsity at all. So, sophomore year, I finally came up and started varsity. And that's when I started to get to know Brendan. And then my junior year, me and him became pretty close. Me and him would, ride to practice every day and everything like that. When we would play Legion ball, he would drive me to the games because I, still didn't have my license or whatever.
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I got to know him in high school, and then we obviously stayed in contact all throughout college, which was awesome for him.
Yeah.
He's going spikes and everything. I mean, we went out with our girlfriends and everything, and it was just, it was cool knowing him, especially whenever the draft came.
Yeah.
When the draft came, I was playing summer ball in South Carolina, and I was on the field during the first round. So our coach was really strict in South Carolina too. So what happened was I put my phone on the back of the dugout and I put the live stream of the draft on, and I had some guy sit, like, one of my teammates sit right in front of it, so that the coach wouldn't see it. And every time I came in from the field, I would sprint up. Did he get picked yet? Did he get picked yet? First 3 picks went. I was like going crazy. I was in the field. I was like, how did he get picked? I was like, he's the best one in the draft. And I'm flipping out. And I came in. I was playing third that day. I remember sprinting into the dugout. My coach probably thought I was hustling like out of my mind that day. He's like, this kid's into it.
He's like, I like this kid.
But no, I sprinted in. As soon as I got to the phone, and he goes in the race select number, or with the 4th pick, Brendan McKay. And I just yelled. Like, I was like, let's go. Let's go. And Brendan, he made me laugh though, because I'm watching. I don't know if you saw the video of him. Like,
No,
they made the video of him and his dad when he finally realized he got selected. It was the most calm thing. You would have never thought. You would have thought like they called his number to go pick up his sandwich or to go get his thing at Chipotle. Like, I'm serious.
Oh man.
Like, it was just so calm. He just stood up, didn't even crack a smile, hugged his dad, and just stood there.
That's
and I was
wild.
like, and that made me laugh because I know, I just know him. But
yeah,
dude, I was going crazy, and I mean, I could not be happier for the guy. And he helps me out like with so much. He helps me out with, if I have a question about, maybe like a throwing motion, like my throwing motion. Okay, because I was having issues with honestly getting some velocity on the ball. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I can't figure out. Like, I'm working my tail off. Like, I work out every day. I do all this stuff, and I can't figure it out. And he's like, well, why don't you, try to get in your legs more, and kind of get your body centered over, center of gravity. And I was like, all right. And I was like, okay, that's it. But, I mean, he helps me out with that. I mean, he helps me out with gear, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's really cool. He's a Nike guy.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Nike guy. So he gets stuff from them, and he'll send me some gear, some batting gloves, and he'll send me bats and stuff like that. He's a lefty, so no gloves, but yeah, but no, I mean, it's not about that, honestly. He's a good friend. He'll check up on me from time to time and just, see if I'm doing okay mentally.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we text like lately. It's kind of just been spotty because I've been playing and everything, but we're really close. So
yeah, I bet he's jealous of you right now though, because you're playing. He's on the couch.
I know. Listen, he don't want to hear me. I said, Brendan, I'm gonna smack you around if we get live at bat. And he's like, no, I got better since high school. I was like, Brand, I'm 3 for 5 off of you, dog. Like, I'm like, dude, I see you well. He's like, I've gotten better since then. And I was like, so have I. We'll see how it goes.
I love it. I love that.
We got to make that happen. We got to do like a showdown or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I gotta do that, but no.
All right, so let's talk about your college career. You went to Slippery Rock.
Yes.
I don't know. Are you familiar with Justin Thomas?
Yeah. Isn't he coaching somewhere now?
He's coaching at Bethany College.
Bethany,
that's my alma mater.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to know him.
I know of him.
Okay.
I'm like Facebook friends with him and stuff.
Gotcha.
I just I don't really like know him well.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're cool with each other on there at least. So.
Yeah. It's just another connection I was trying to make. But what was it like playing at Slippery Rock? Obviously, we know Slippery Rock's reputation for being a party school, but let's talk about the baseball right now. What was it like playing there?
Playing there was good. I mean, there was good competition. I mean, you cannot sell D2 baseball short in the PSAC because the PSAC is full of a bunch of guys who A, got in trouble, B, decided that they want to go somewhere where they just want to play immediately and they want to dominate. And 3, just guys that end up transferring down and then they work their tail off. And obviously there's some kids where you're like, okay, those guys are borderline, like D3 guys. But the guys that play every day, we could have competed with any of the, I don't know about like LSU, but like we could have competed with a lot of Division I schools. It was nice playing at our park. I mean, I loved hitting at Slippery Rock. They have no batter's eye, but the site behind the pitcher is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We have the stadium there too, and now we got turf. Yeah. I didn't get to play on that, which I'm jealous.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what, man, that is one of the nicest stadiums in the Northeast right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful. So I mean, it was really cool playing there. I mean, Coach Messer is a great guy. I loved playing for him. Billy, his son, Billy Messer, he's a good guy too. Coach Mitch has got to be one of my – Coach Mitchelltree. He's the catcher's coach. Okay. Now, I catch, but I played short at Slippery Rock. I play everywhere. So I play short, catcher, center field. I play wherever. But I really didn't get to work with him, and I wish I would have, because that man has about 5,000 jokes just stashed away in his back pocket for every single, literally any occasion. I go on to first base, and every time I go on to first, he's telling the first baseman a different joke. And I'm looking at the first baseman. I'm like, you either got to be annoyed or you're loving this guy right now, because he's just pounding you with jokes. But that's the kind of guy he was, and that's the kind of people we had around there. Yeah. And it was a good time, man. I mean, it was a really good time. Playing Mercyhurst was crazy because they always had the pitching. Oh yeah. And I always took it as a challenge to have my best weekends against them, because I wanted to see that pitching. I wanted to see the best of the best, and they had them. It was them. I mean, we really didn't get to play Westchester. I think we did twice in my time there. Okay. And both times, I think both teams scored like 15 runs, and we were all throwing our aces. So it was just a slugfest that day for some reason. Yeah. But Mercyhurst, you have a 4-game set. You got to duke it out. Unfortunately, we didn't come out on top as much as we would like. Yeah. But I mean, it was cool playing against guys like that. And now I'm teammates with Dom Dorenzo now. He ended up playing in Mercyhurst, Oklahoma, not Mercyhurst. Nick Ward from Westchester. He's on my team. I mean, it's you make a lot of good friends in the PSAC, and I think Slippery Rock was just kind of meant to be for me. Yeah. So you mentioned having your best weekends against Mercyhurst, who had the best pitching. Mm-hmm. Is that how you think you became ranked third in home runs at Slippery Rock? Is just you sought out the challenge and you played up to it? Yeah, I mean, ever since my freshman year, I throw it away, but I learned from it. Yeah. I mean, I learned everything from it. It was a rough year. I went into it with the wrong mindset. I saw grown men hitting balls 450 feet. Yeah. And I was like, I got to do that now, like right now in batting practice. So I got into bad habits. I tried to, I started pulling my head. I started trying to take everything deep. And it really screwed with me. And then whenever I tried to get back into it, I didn't know how to get back into just my, regular mindset. So it was rough there my freshman year. But, I always took it ever since I was in high school. I took it before that, ever since I was little. I took it as a challenge whenever you're playing against anybody, really, but especially when you're playing against guys that are up there. They're good. They're really good players. You got to step your game up. And if you don't step your game up, to me, you're being a sissy. Like, you're being like, you're conforming to them. Like, you're like, oh, you guys are good. Me personally, I do not like saying pitchers are good. Because if I think a pitcher's good, I'm going to go up there with that mindset like, he's good. Now, subconsciously, I have less of a chance of getting a hit. Yeah. I have to go up there. If I'm facing Jacob deGrom, I got to go say, he's good, but I'm better than this dude. I can smack him around all day, 9 times out of 10. And that's the approach I take. Now, so it's more of a mental game for you. Yeah, 100%. Do you know Vince Duffy? You know that name? Do you know Zach Duffy? Zach Duffy probably sounds familiar. Duffy sounds familiar. Yeah, he ended up going to Beaver Falls, but that's my boy. But Vince Duffy's his brother, and he started a company called Edge 90, and now he changed it to Meta New. It's about mental well-being, and it's like a lot of sports psychology. It's a broadened thing. He teamed up with Michael McHenry of the Pirates, and Alex Presley. So they're all combined and they're working together. And it's this big company let me figure out how to put this. They give you forms and then they talk to you. So you fill out these forms and there's like general questions like, how are you feeling? What's your mood? All this stuff. And then they start digging into you specifically. So like me, it was baseball. So he'd be like, how did your weekend go? And then he'd analyze even just that, and they almost read your body language or read, what you're saying just through, what you put down. And then he'd call me and he'd be like, dude, like your morale is actually down. And meanwhile, I would think I was like good. And he's like, your morale is actually down. Maybe try doing this, this, and this, all mental stuff. Maybe try doing this, this, and this, breathing techniques, stuff like that, and see if it helps you. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And I started that my junior year and now I still do it. And man, it's mental.
Yeah,
this game
that's really awesome because like you don't hear players talk about the mental preparation for a game. It's usually it's usually just like the throwaway, like, oh yeah, I'm mentally prepared. But like to hear that,
no,
a lot of people don't like to talk about that.
Listen, this year, there was actually, even back to last year, there was times where I'd step in the cage before the game and I'd take one swing and I'd say, I'm good.
Really?
Because I get in there, I did all my mental stuff first. And if my mental's right, I feel like I can play. So I got in there, and if I feel loose and if I'm right on, if I get in there and smack it right up into that left corner like I like, I'd say I'm good.
Wow.
Now, that's me. Not other guys, and I'm not. There's nothing against that. They got to get off the tee. They got to do all their other stuff, and that's good. Now, I like taking batting practice before the games. Don't get me wrong. I like doing, you got to do a routine and everything. But part of that routine, I mean, what is a routine? It's a checklist to get your body and your mind and everything squared away so that you feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
You feel comfortable going into the game. And what is being comfortable? It's on your head. So Absolutely. if I feel good and I'm comfortable with what I have that day, I might not even take batting practice. I'm just going to say I'm good.
Wow.
There's been a couple times where I've just done that. I've just said I'm good. And I just go out there and I play. And I have some of the best days that I've ever had because now I'm not worrying about my swing. I'm not worrying about anything else.
Yeah, you're not overthinking anything.
No, my mental's just ready. I got to put the bat on the ball. I got to hit it hard.
That's
and
awesome.
I mean, that's the way I go about it. Now, like I said, everybody's different. Yeah. If I try to tell that to a 12-year-old, they are not going to have any clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because they already don't think about it. You know what I mean? They're already just like, I'm just hitting the ball,
Yeah.
But like once you get up to like a higher level like this, it's all at this point you should know how to play the game.
Yeah.
You can always learn more. You can always pick up things. That's not what I'm saying. But you should know the basics and how to play your game. When you're going into that game, you are not trying to fix something.
Yeah.
You are going in there competing with what you have.
Yeah.
Now you can work on things like I want to get deeper in a count. Okay, you can work. That's where you work on it. You work on it in the game. But if you're questioning your swing path and all this launch angle stuff and everything like that during the game, I'm not gonna say you're gonna struggle, but you're not gonna do as well as you could if you would just go in there with the right mindset and just relax and go play.
Wow.
But
I was going to ask you, how did you become an All-American in 2019? But I think that pretty much sums it up.
It was a grind. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't spend nights at 12 o'clock in the morning or at night. 12 o'clock at night hitting in the cage by myself. I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I told you that I did that every day. Because I didn't do that every day. I did it when I felt it was necessary. And there was a lot of those days. Yeah. But I mean, the mental part takes about 90% of it. Because if you look at the growth from freshman year to senior year, just in those 4 years, I mean, my mental, you can ask my teammates. It was like, I was a freshman and everything. I was pounding, I got out, I K'd up. Dang it, throw your helmet or something, something stupid. And then senior year, it's like, next one. Just like, look, just maturing mentally. I think that and just, put all the hard work finally starts to, come together, and you start learning and understanding things.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
I think, like, I'm thinking about it now, like the famous Yogi Berra quote. Doesn't he say it's like 98%
It's
mental?
90% mental, the other half, he says.
The other half.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other half is physical.
The other half
so
is physical.
Yeah, that's exactly how you play the game, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't lying. I mean, and he wasn't really a big guy, was he?
No, Berra wasn't that big.
I mean, I can relate to him with that. I mean, maybe a bigger guy can say, "Oh, it's physical."
Yeah.
Aaron Judge can get away with a pop up because it might go out.
Yeah, exactly.
Us little guys, I'm not necessarily little, but the guys that aren't 6'4", you might not get away with that. So you have to make up for it in other areas, and I think making it up in your mental is definitely the place where you need to do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the time between graduating from Slippery Rock and being signed by the Wild Things. What went into all of that? That's like a 2-year span or so, a year and a half span.
Just 1 year. Yeah, about a year and a half, I guess.
Yeah.
Boy, it was an interesting and a rough year and a half. So after school, I might have to plug you in soon.
Okay.
For my charger. But so after school, I got invited to the Pirates pre-draft workout. That was at the Wild Things Stadium.
Yeah.
I went there. Great day. Hit a home run in live at bats off the best pitcher there. I did well in the field. I did everything. I was supposed to do. And I was like, the scouts came up to me. They're like, "Do you know the president of what's it called, of the Pirates? Because he told us to scout you." And I was like, "The president?" And they were like, "Yeah, I forget what his name is now." And I was like, "No, like there's no relation there, nothing." They were like, "Well, just keep an eye out because that's what we were told."
Yeah, he likes you.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, I mean, geez." I walked out of there like, I'm getting drafted by the Pirates. That's going to be cool. I'm going to be the hometown kid getting drafted. It's going to be awesome. Something like I always dreamed about. Well, I knew I wasn't going in the first 2 rounds because especially you coming from D2. You're coming from D2, it's not going to happen. Or the first 2 days, first 2 days.
Yeah.
So that's 1 through 10 rounds. So I was like, all right, 3rd day, let's buckle up. Sat there until the 36th round, I think. Did not get any phone calls. Didn't see my name go off the board. Nothing. And I went, all right. I said, I'm leaving. So I left my house, got my bucket of balls, went to the field.
Yeah.
Started hitting in the cage. But at that point, I already committed, if I didn't get drafted, to go up to Michigan.
Okay.
In the USPBO. It's a pretty new league. I think it's 5 years old this year now, or 5 or 6. Something like that. It's new. So I went up there. Started out okay. I was in the 200s. Ended up having a big game, which pushed me over to like 300 batting average, and I had a couple home runs and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, I'm sitting good now. Like we can just mentally just relax, because I was pressing hard because I was like, I'm going to get picked up right out of here and I'm getting it now. Let's get out of here. So like, I just kept pressing and I ended up pushing my average down to like, I think it was like 171 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But here's this. That was only 4 games of play. I went over. All I had was 40 at-bats.
Wow.
So there's a short leash up there, I guess. So I had 4 bad games, and they said, you're gone. And I said,
damn.
What are you going to do? It hurt me. It definitely hurt me because I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't even belong here. And never let me go. I was like, I mean, and you go through it in your mind then. You're like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing? Why? Like, I never questioned if I actually had the talent or the ability to do it. It was more or less like, what do I need to do to get these people's attention and to go forward? Because it seems like, like my teammates and everybody, they always think that I'm good. Like, I'm a great ball player. And then I go, and it seems like the scouts and people like that they never see that. They never think that. So, I go and I'm racking my brains, right? Racking my brains. And I come home, I'm at the cage one day, and a friend shows up, and he refers me to a guy named Jim Devine. He used to be a Yankee scout, Cardinal scout, Giants scout, everything. Okay. And they were like, why don't you go to him? He gives lessons out in Warren, Ohio. I was like, all right. I was like, I'll give him a call. Might as well. So I called him up. He's like, hey, I'm Joe Campagna. He goes, I know who you are. And I was like, all right. I was like, you mind like just sitting down and talking real quick? He's like, yep. So I went like a week later, and he had all this stuff for me. He had all the reports and everything like that. And he goes, Joe, honestly, he goes, what I do is I specialize in players that fall through the cracks. He goes, and you fell through the cracks. He was like, so he was like, well, it wasn't your hitting. He was like, it wasn't your fielding. He was like, your arm's not a plus, but it's not a minus. He was like, so you're right on average, right on par with it. He's like, your speed could definitely be better. Because at this point, I think I was like 205 pounds, something like that.
Okay.
And I lost a lot of weight from my freshman year and everything. But I was still overweight. And he was like, your speed could be better. He was like, you're not slow, you're not fast, you're average. He was like, but coming from a D2 school, in a small school, they want guys with tools, guys that they think that they need to develop. Meanwhile, a lot of these guys in D2, you don't need to develop. You just need to let them play because they are good. And I'm talking about even just like other guys.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about me. And I was like, okay, so like, what do we need to do? So we got to work. Me and him got to work. He explained to me a bunch of new things with hitting, a bunch of new things with like arm slots and everything like that. Worked on the speed. And I ended up losing 25 pounds. So I lost 25 pounds. And, I passed the eye test now. I'm running a little faster, I'm moving quicker, especially with the weight down.
Yeah.
And, I worked my tail off. And, I mean, he knows a bunch of people. So he called a couple of Indians. Like, he called an Indian scout, and he called a couple scouts down in Florida. And there was this workout. It was like a minor league workout. So he sent me to that. He paid for it, paid for everything for me, which was really cool. Cue me and Brendan working out before the workout.
Yeah.
But went down there, showed out, did a really good thing. And nothing came from it with affiliated ball. And I was like, okay, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You just got to keep pressing. And at this point, he worked with me on my mental approach to that too. He's like, look, what's the difference between you and Evan Longoria? I was like, he's in the league and I'm not. He was like, that's it. He's like, that dude went from not playing baseball to playing 2 years and going in the first round, and then he's in the league a year later. He's like, there's no difference. He's like, the only difference is that he got lucky and you didn't.
Yeah.
And then obviously, he's a great ball player. I'm not saying anything about Evan Longoria. I'm just saying, like, like he got put in the position to succeed, and he took advantage of it, and he did well. He's like, Joe, all you need is a chance to succeed. All you need is that opportunity to succeed. He's like, and if you don't take advantage of it, another opportunity will come if you keep pressing. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So I'm literally sitting in my room, and one of the coaches from Sussex County, they called me, and he lives down in Florida, and he's like, hey, why don't you come work out? So I went, worked out with them. I spent a month and a half down there in Florida, in Fort Myers, playing with Kia Tigers of the KBO.
Okay.
I played against them. I had a blast. Those guys are legit. They're good.
Yeah. I've watched a couple of their games whenever all our sports got canceled. I started watching KBO.
ESPN. Yeah, they were on ESPN. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that that stereotype of the Asian ball players, holding their leg up in the air and, having these running swings. Oh, it's real. That's real. They do that stuff. But I mean, they're just so good at it. Obviously, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But no, I went down there and I did really well against those guys. And those guys, that's equivalent to AAA Major League Baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that helped me with my confidence and everything too. Man, I can hang in with all these guys. If I had any doubt, it was gone, because I was like, I can hang in with these guys. Man, what am I worried about? All I need is that opportunity.
Yeah.
So COVID came, sent me home.
Messed everybody up.
Yep. COVID came, sent me home. Still no contract. Was hanging out around here for 2 months, something like that. And Tony Buccelli, the Wild Things, called, and he said, "Hey, we're getting a 4-team league together. We want you to be on the Steel City Slam and Sammys." He was like, "It's going to be you. It's going to be your cousin Sansone. It's going to be, and he rattled off all the names. He was like, "Are you in?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And he was like, "All right, cool. Let's get to work." So went, had a good year, hit over 300, was, I think, second in the league in bombs. And that's pretty much all it took for Tony to be like, "Hey, we want you back for next year."
Yeah.
He gave me a call and was like, "Hey, this is the plan. This is what we want you to do for next year." They're like, we want you to sign. They're like, "We have a priority list and we want you to come." I was like, "All right." Now, I said, "All right," and I didn't say I'm signing, because I had other opportunities, like in Sussex. I knew I was going up there to finish off the year, and I knew from previous that with the KBO and everything, they saw me and they were like, we like you, we might want to sign you. So I went up there and I was like, "Look," I was like, "Tony, I appreciate everything, I love the Wild Things." I was like, "You guys did the best job that I could even ask for with this whole COVID thing."
Yeah.
Seriously. And he was like, "Oh no, I respect it. You got to do what you got to do." So I didn't even go up there yet to Sussex. And I called Tony and I said, "Tony, I'm going to sign with you." Yeah. Because I'm telling, I appreciated everything, and it was awesome, honestly, how they handled it. And so that's pretty much how that happened. So now I went up worry-free to Sussex, played my game, did what I had to do, came back, met up with my manager from the Slam and Sammys, TJ Zarowitz. He bounces around from independent leagues, and he's a great coach, great manager. And we entered a home run derby with Mick Fennell. You know the name Fennell?
No, I've never heard that name. Yeah,
Mick Fennell. I think he's from Newcastle, went to Cal U. He got drafted by the Cardinals. Gotcha. He played there for a couple years, and now he owns a facility in Fennell Brothers baseball with his brother.
Okay.
And they were like, "We're going to do a home run derby." So they had all the age groups. They had 8 to 10 and, younger kids and everything. And then they had the adult group. So my manager calls me. He's like, he sends me the picture first, and he calls me. He's like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah, what is it?" He was like, "We're doing it." I was like, "All right." I was like, "Thanks for calling me."
Yeah.
So I went out there with him and made it to the championship round against one of the Fennell brothers, and he beat me. I was like, "Come on, man! I wanted to win some money. You won money if you win.
Yeah.
But no, he beat me with a walk-off homer with 9 outs. We did the traditional style. But no, I mean, that was really cool. But I have to give a lot of credit to TJ too, my manager.
Yeah.
Because I hooked up with him somehow before the Slam and Sammy season, and I honestly forget how it happened. Whether it was just the will of God or whatever it was, I met him. I think it was the will of God. I met him, and we hit like 2 or 3 times before we even had a clue that this was going to happen. Like the season.
Yeah.
And he liked my swing. He liked, we threw and everything, and he really liked what he saw. So whenever it came down time to pick teams, I guess him and Tony got together, and TJ was like, look, I think Joe needs to play. I know he can. And I talked to Tony when I came back from the USPBL about maybe coming and playing for them. And, I've stayed in contact with Tony. And Tony was like, all right, yeah, I know he is. I know he's I know he's a ball player. Let's bring him on. So I don't know exactly what was said, but all I know is Tony called me and the rest is history.
Now you're playing for the Wild Things.
Now I'm playing for the Wild Things next year.
So let's talk about that a little more. I want to go and talk about the 4-team league. It basically seems like they just were like, hey, let's make this league where we can just scout a bunch of guys. Is that what it basically was? Is they just had their own scouting season?
I mean, independent league teams are always looking for guys. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because they look for the guys that are going to help them win.
Yeah.
And pretty much, so the Slam and Sammys and the Wild Things, we were under the umbrella of the Wild Things. Okay. And the other 2 teams were Black Sox Baseball. And what they are, they're so they travel around, and they're a bunch of free agents. Or guys who are signed, but they want to come get working. But we made it official that these 2 teams are going to be 2 official teams in the league. So they had set teams, and they came in with their best that they had. So they called everybody. They called guys from AAA. They had Brandon Phillips. Did you see that?
I was gonna ask you about that.
They had Brandon Phillips playing.
Let's talk about that real quick. What did you get to play against him first off? I assume you did.
Oh yeah, I talked to him a bunch. Yeah,
what's he like? Because I know Pittsburgh hated him for a while when he played for the Reds, but
that's because he played for the Reds.
Yeah.
Honestly, Brandon is the man. If there is, that dude BP, isn't that his name on?
Yeah.
He is that dude. That's his thing. He is the man. If that's how I could explain him, he's the man. He's just he has this sense and this aura about him that it's you just know Brandon Phillips is there. Yeah. He has that sense he's a big leaguer just by the way he does stuff. He just everything. I can't even I wish you could have seen it through my eyes, some of the things that he did that you're just that's big league. That's just something little. Just him walking up to the plate before his at bat. He'd go and he'd tap the umpire and the catcher on the shin pads, and he'd, how we doing today? And he'd just be kicking the dirt around. Well, no dirt because it's turf, so the rubber around. And just little stuff like that. You're that's
that guy's a pro.
And then he plays, and it's the smoothest thing you've ever seen. In the field, he makes those plays that they're supposed to look hard, and they're just the smoothest. There's
that's crazy because he's an old guy. He's is he?
Yeah, he's around 40. Yeah, I think he's 41, 42.
He's still making plays like that.
He's still doing it, man. You wouldn't know he's 40.
Yeah.
If you went and talked to him, or even just looked at him, you'd be like, dude, where are you? You could tell he's 30-something.
Yeah.
I'd probably if I just had to look at him and guess, I'd say he's 33, maybe 32, 33. Because he stays in great shape.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's struggling running down the base path at all. he was the man, and he big leagued everything but the players, and that was what that I loved that about him. There was not one time where here you there. Wait a second, my phone.
Yeah, I'm here.
Here, can you see me like that?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. We'll do it this way. But there was not one time where he big leagued a player where he was like, I'm holier than thou. I'm Brandon Phillips. I made over $100 million playing baseball. There was not one time like that. And that's what I think we all really respected about him.
Yeah.
Because he was just like a class act the whole time. And it was something to play next to a guy like him. Gold gloves and all-star. And I mean, man, it was really cool. And that was eye-opening too, because you're like, I'm on the same field as this guy.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's a confidence booster for all of us, not just me, for all of us. We were all like this is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, man, great guy. His brother actually managed that team that he was on.
Okay.
PJ's a great guy too. Talked to Brandon a little bit. I was playing first one time, and he was on first because he hit the ball. But yeah, had just a few little short conversations, and he's just a good dude. Really cool.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. So now that you're on the Wild Things, I have a question. How many Wild Things games had you been to before you got picked up? Because we all know who the Washington Wild Things are.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people in Western Pennsylvania have actually gone to a Wild Things game.
You know what? I think you're right, but and I mean that's true. Like you're like, oh, the Washington Wild Things, yeah. But like, have you ever gone? Haven't had the chance,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I went when I was young, and then I went a couple times, like I think through high school. Not that much because I was always playing.
Yeah.
But I probably went to a handful or two of games, growing up and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even understand what the Wild Things were until I was like in college.
Same.
Like I thought it was just like I thought it was a minor league team because everybody said, "Oh, it's minor league baseball." I was like, "Oh, like
yeah, like I
who do
used
they
to
belong
think.
to?"
Yeah, exactly. I used to think they were like affiliated with the Pirates.
They were like, "Oh, they don't belong to anybody. They're just like
they're independent."
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, like, but they're still in minor league." Like I didn't understand.
So for me, in that aspect, I didn't understand independent until I watched what was it called? It was a documentary on Netflix about a team in Portland. It was owned by like Kurt Russell's dad, and they were like the first independent baseball team.
Yeah,
like I didn't understand the concept until I watched that documentary.
Like, oh, like it hits you. You're like, that's what it means.
Like, oh, okay. That's what the Wild Things are. Okay.
Yeah, my whole life, I went thinking something else. No, right. I mean that's dude. I'm right there with you on that. I had no clue.
Yeah. So, another thing with the Wild Things before you were a player for them, did you get a chance to go to that game where Pat McAfee played right field?
No, I was in Michigan.
Oh, that's when you were playing Michigan.
Last year, right?
That was 2
or was it 2 years ago?
2 or maybe 3 years ago.
I know I was playing still whenever that happened because I remember seeing it and I was like, "That's sick." I was like, "That's really cool." Like that Pat was there. Nah, man. I mean that'd be really cool to like meet Pat too.
Yeah.
Pat's the dude, man. I watch his stuff all the time and everything. He's funny.
Yeah, he's awesome. You got to get him to come back and play right field again.
I mean, I'll try. That's if he looks at my comments. I don't know. Like, I'll harp on him. He'll probably see the Wild Things ones before he sees me, like from the official page.
Yeah.
He probably will. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Do another documentary.
Exactly. I'd watch that. That'd be awesome.
All right. Before we get out of here, what do you see your future in baseball being? Do you see yourself just playing it out in Washington, having a good time?
A car went by. What'd you say?
Do you see your future in baseball? Do you see yourself just sticking it out in Washington, having a good time, staying around home? Or are you still trying to go to the next level?
I'm always trying to go to the next level. I mean, that's been my dream. I'm gonna keep chasing it until somebody rips my jersey off and, you know, locks me in my room. Man, I mean, I'm always looking to get to the next place. You know, they say there's a saying in independent baseball, you get here to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And it's true. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your time there and that these organizations aren't legit and that these organizations aren't great, filled with great people, great management, and that they don't do it professionally, because they do. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to definitely enjoy my time in Washington. If I have to spend a couple years there, if they still want me there,
yeah.
I'm going to do it. But yeah, I'm always looking to make it to the next level. I mean, I'm not trying to settle until I make it to the top. You know, there's Chris Colabello. I think that's who it is. I think he was like 28 when he finally got taken out of independent ball. And then he was an all-star, and he was in the league for quite a few years. I mean, I'm only 23.
Yeah.
I mean, in my eyes, I got time. You know, all it takes is that one time where they're like, hey, we need a guy to come catch because our catchers both went down. Who do you guys have? Oh, we have Joe Campagna. Or, hey, we need a third baseman. Oh, we have him. He's hitting like 300 right now. They're like, send him up. And now I'm with, you know, whoever. It may be the Blue Jays or whatever. And then, I mean, now I'm in their system. Hopefully I work my way up. If not, at least I can say, hey, I was in the, you know, whoever's system. Yeah. Now, I don't want to settle for that at all. Not going to, like, you know, but yeah, it'll be cool. But obviously, but no, not going to stop, not going to give up until I'm there.
Well, with that said, I'm looking forward to following your career. And I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, no, dude. Thank you for having me. I've had a blast. This is awesome.
Yeah, no problem, man. Just trying to tell our stories, man. I know we got a lot of athletes and people who love sports in Western Pennsylvania. Just got to get the word out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, told you in the beginning, man. I love Beaver County.
Yeah, everybody loves Beaver County.
As much as people say, I need to get the heck out of here. Listen, it's where the heart is. It's where the heart is.